Dear students, this is part 4th of this chapter. Here in this lecture we will be discussing the versatile nature of carbon and its compounds. Formation of large number of carbon compounds. Carbon forms a very large number of compounds and their number is more than 3 million. That means there is a huge number of carbon compounds that are formed by it. So why carbon forms such a large number of compounds? This is because first, the carbon atom can form bonds with other carbon atoms to form long chains, branched chains, and closed rings. This property is known as catenation, and due to this catenation property, carbon forms a large or huge number of compounds. Second, since the valency of carbon is 4, it can form bonds with other carbon atoms or with atoms of other elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and halogens, and as such it forms a large number of compounds. One of the major compounds formed by carbon are hydrocarbons. So what are hydrocarbons? These are actually the compounds that contain carbon and hydrogen atoms. They have two main types, that are saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. First we will see saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are those hydrocarbons that are having single covalent bonds between the carbon atoms. For example, alkanes have all the single covalent bonds between the carbon atoms and their name end with A and E. So we have methane, a 4 carbon compound, a carbon compound having 4 hydrogens and 1 carbon, ethane having 2 carbons and 6 hydrogens. These are known as saturated hydrocarbons. The second type is unsaturated hydrocarbons. These are the hydrocarbons that have double and triple covalent bonds between the carbon atoms. For example, alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes are those hydrocarbons that have double covalent bond between the carbon atoms and their name ends with E and E. So ethene or propene. Similarly, alkynes are the hydrocarbons that have a triple bond between two carbon atoms and their name ends with Y and E, alkyne. So ethyne, propyne, etc. Isomerism. Carbon compounds having the same molecular formula but different structural formula are called isomers, and this property is known as isomerism. For example, butane, that is a 4 carbon compound, C4H10, has two isomers. They are normal butane and isobutane. In normal butane, we have straight chain carbon uh, hydrogen framework, while as in isobutane, we have a link of carbon-carbon link, a small branch having one carbon and three hydrogens. Similarly, pentane has three isomers. They have normal pentane, that is N-pentane. They have one branched, that is isopentane, and they have two branchings, that is neopentane. So these N-pentane, isopentane, and neopentane, these are the structural isomers of pentane, and as such, these isomers form a group of compounds, and this phenomena is known as isomerism. These these different isomers possess different physical and chemical properties like solubility, melting point, boiling point, etc.